Hey investy besties, welcome back to the channel. Can you guess where we are? So my daughter is here, Izzy. She's a teenager, so I thought it would be great to get her perspective as a young person. And so what we're gonna do is just give our first impressions and then share two things we're looking forward to during the next couple of days. So Izzy, what about you? Tell me like your first impression of being here.
I think I'm looking forward to just being able to be around people who understand and are into what you're into.
Yes,
so you can geek out together.
Yes.
And then I guess for a second thing, honestly, just whatever comes that I don't know is coming. Because I love a good surprise.
Yes.
And with here, it's I'm already overwhelmed and surprised.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what comes.
Yes, I am too. And I'm really excited to see it from her perspective as a teenager in this finance niche. So I really am excited. But that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. It's New York City and it's noisy, so I'm hoping that you guys can hear me, but everything is going pretty well. We caught the train into the city. It was a pretty cool ride. We got a cab as soon as we came out Penn Station, and it took a few minutes to get here. Check-in was great. It was really fascinating to meet everybody. Everybody was so nice.
I thought it was pretty interesting seeing basically an expanded version of what I see of the stock market on apps like Fidelity, and seeing how it could more easily and precisely be used and approximated to help people of all backgrounds and experiences of how to make the most profit they can.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. If you're new, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate it. Again, my name is Shalise. I'm a 40-year-old mama, wife, and worker bee, and I'm just trying to get some financial freedom. I'm not a financial advisor or a fiduciary. I am an investor like you. I'm in the trenches. We are buying and holding. We are building up our share sizes. We are collecting our dividend and watching our portfolios grow. Beware of scammers, spammers, fake pages. I am only active here on YouTube and Instagram. If you see my content on Facebook, TikTok, anywhere else, please report it. So we're going to have a conversation today about saving and investing for your kids. Now, I thought about making this video very, analytical, very data driven, a lot of slides and all of that. I feel like, I can incorporate some of that while still having a conversation, because I feel like the art of having a conversation about finance and money is a dying thing. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So you have a kid, you are thinking about having kids, you want to save and invest for them. What do you do? And this can apply to grandchildren, nieces, nephews, etc. Okay? One of the first things I would say before we even start thinking about saving and investing for kids is to make sure you are prioritizing yourself first. You know how you get on an airplane and the pilot will come on before you take off and they say, in the event of an emergency landing, the oxygen mask will fall down from the ceiling. Put it on yourself first. Do not put it on the kid first. You want to make sure that you are properly taken care of before you can help take care of someone else. Well, it's the same thing with saving and investing for your children. They just have much more time than we do. If me at 40 prioritized my daughter who's 18, it really wouldn't make sense mathematically, and it really wouldn't make sense when it comes to just my working years or healthy years or vibrant years, because I'm just getting older and the body slowly starts to shut down. That is just life, right? And so we want to make sure that my husband and I have what we need so that in 25 years at 65 we are okay, versus 25 years when my daughter may be 40, fuzzy math, in her early 40s, she can she has time to kind of get caught up on her own. But I do think it's important to have something for your children. Now, don't get caught up like I did in the dollar amount. You will see a lot of charts out there that will tell you if you start saving and investing when they are in the womb, by the time they are 18, they'll have $1 billion. Well, what if you don't come to understand all of this until your child is 13 years old? Then you only have 5 years. Should you start? Is it too late? All of that. And so I'm here to tell you it is not too late. Now, again, if you can start when they are little and they're so cute and they're adorable and all of that, that's perfect. So the earlier you start, the better. But if you come to know all of this when they're 13, 5 years is still, I think, a good amount of time to do something, okay? One of the first things I always tell people, because this is something that I've learned, having children, being a mother and a parent, is that just start with saving first. You don't even have to jump into the investing bit yet if you're not ready for that. Because again, this is all new. Like, all of us are on different learning curves and learning paths. And the easiest way to get started is just by saving for your kids. When they're little, get them a piggy bank. Get them the like coin jar. So if they come across any coins, just put the coins in so that they can see that they add up. You could start by just saving all of the $1 bills. That's an easy and great way to show them that small amounts do add up. Because again, we see the economy, inflation is a real thing. And so, small amounts do add up. Also, when your children are like 11 or 13 years old, it just depends on the credit union or the bank, you can actually take them down there so that they can open up like a junior bank account. Now, it will be under you. You will be the custodian, but it'll help them get used to the banking system. Like, what is a savings account? What is a checking account? How does that work? How does a debit card work? What about mobile checking? What about using a banking app? These are all things that we think the kids won't understand, but I'm telling you, these children nowadays can pick up information like that, especially when it's digital. Also, knowing how to write a check. My daughter knows how to write a check. Especially when your children are in their teens, teach them how to write a check. Teach them about credit scores. One of the things that we did with my daughter is we got her a credit card under us. Again, she was an authorized user under us, and we were able to teach her how to use credit so that now at 18 years old, she has excellent credit. Okay, so those are just some little things that we can do before we even start talking about investing in stocks. Okay, so once we get savings under control, and again, just a side note with savings, Christmas time, birthday, graduation, some big occasion, if they don't need a whole lot of stuff, consider having people, donate to their college fund or put money into their savings accounts, things like that. So moving on to the investing bit. So there's a couple of ways that a couple of different types of accounts that you can use to invest for your kids. Okay. So there are 529s. 529s are really great because if your child is going to go to college, it could be used on that. It could be used on a lot of educational expenses, which is also great. So community college. So if your kid don't want to go to a 4-year school, that's fine. What about trade school? So a lot of people look down on trade school, which I think is kind of crazy because these contractors and plumbers and electricians and all of that, they're getting paid well and they have pretty solid schedules. And if anything, we depend on them a lot. Something happens in the house, I'm calling a plumber. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm coming out. My rate is $75 an hour, right? An electrician, all of that. So there's nothing wrong with going to trade school or anything like that. And I just wanted to point out that when you start talking to your children about higher education and check in with them, okay? So I know when they are like 1 and 3 and 5 and they want to be a doctor and all of that, that sounds great. But when they become 15, 16 years old, they may have different plans for their future than what you have thought about. So have conversations with your children, at least when they get into the 9th or 10th grade, about, what do you want to do after high school? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Do you want to join the military? Are you trying to just go straight to work? Like, what do you want to do? Because there's no point in having $50,000 in a 529 and these kids don't want to do nothing but, make cat videos on TikTok, right? So, you can start with a 529. A lot of the big brokers have all of these accounts that I'm going to talk about. Inside of that 529, make sure you invest. So put their money in a lot of growth stocks, growth ETFs. For our children, we love like FXAIX because their accounts are with Fidelity. But we also they have Disney, they have Google, they have Amazon, they have Tesla, they have Microsoft. But most of their money, like 90% of it, is in FXAIX or the S&P 500. My daughter does have some SCHD, which is also great. Another type of account is UTMAs or UGMAs. So I really, really do like these accounts because not only can they be used on education expenses, but they can also be used on life expenses. So let's say you are that parent that's like, you know what, I don't want to really save for their education because maybe they got a scholarship, maybe grandparents are covering it, things like that. But you want to save and help them buy a house. You want to invest and help them, help them out when they have their first child or when they get married. You want to help them with life events. So a lot of people like to use these accounts because you can also put gifts, jewelry, artwork, furniture, things like that, because people do that. They do pass down art pieces or special jewelry that means a lot in their family, and they will have it in this type of account. Now keep in mind that this account does transfer over to the child when they become either 18 or 21. It just depends on your state, so just type it into Google, it'll bring it up. You can also have an UTMA or an UGMA with a 529, so you can have these two types of accounts. My daughter does have these two types of accounts as well. Another type of account you can have for your child is a brokerage account. Now, I will always suggest using the 529 or the UGMA first, but again, if you want to open up a brokerage account for your kids, you can do that. One account type that I love if you have a teenager is the Fidelity Teen account. Now, this is an account you have to be 13 years old or older to have one, but it introduces them to investing in a very safe way. So you are the custodian, you have access to the app. They can learn how to buy and sell and manage their own, their own simple portfolios, which I love. And I'll have the link directly below for the Fidelity Teen account. But again, if these kids can work apps and video games and all the other type of stuff, they can invest through the Fidelity Teen app. And so my daughter has had one for a couple of years now. And again, when they become 18, even with the Fidelity Teen app, it does convert over to an account for them that they manage. So you just want to make sure you understand that. Your children can also have a Roth IRA. So this is important. You want to make sure you hear this. When your children get part-time jobs, right? In the summer, during the year, they have jobs, they can put a piece of their or a portion of their earnings into a Roth IRA, and you as their parent can match it. But it have to be on earned income. So like if they do chores around the house and you pay them money, that does not apply, okay? But if my daughter does something for me under my business, Mommy Trader, I can pay her for my business and she can go ahead and put some money into her Roth IRA. And you don't have to worry about them trying to max it out. My daughter has put like $500 in hers. Get them started. That is the most important part of everything that I am saying. Let's say you have a special needs kid like I do. I have a son who has autism, right? You can open up something called an ABLE account. So again, this is also state specific, but ABLE accounts are great because let's say your kid, let's be honest, my son is not going to college, right? But that does not mean he can't build wealth either. And I try to just keep things simple on his level, right? There is one ETF that I have been teaching him, and you all probably know it by now if you've been watching me for a while. It is VTI. If he don't know anything else, now we do invest in other things for him like Tesla, Microsoft, Google, all of that, Apple, but the one ETF, the one fund that we teach him about is VTI, because that's all he really needs to know. He will have access to the total stock market. He'll have growth. He'll have value. He'll have dividends. He'll have small companies, big companies. He'll have everything. And so, for us, it's really making sure that we meet him at his skill level, right? And so I love ABLE accounts because it allows us as his parents to make sure that there is something for him. Now, the money that we do have for him, we are going to put in a trust. It is going to cost several thousands of dollars because trusts are expensive, but because he may not be able to understand and process as well as others, we want to make sure that what we have for him is protected, and we're going to put his money in a trust. So I just wanted to come on and just talk to you guys, in a very, I would think, an easy format, just having a conversation about the importance of saving for your kids, the different ways you can. You don't have to go out and open up every single one of these accounts. Like I said, how we started, just saving, right? Christmas is coming up. Do they need a whole bunch of toys and clothes and shoes and things they are not going to play with? No. So get them involved with investing, and open up an account for them, a savings account, an investing account. Get a piggy bank if you want to start small. Get a little coin jar. I'll have some links below to my Amazon storefront. I use these things, right? Because it's a great way to get the kids on board with money management, with financial management. Talk to them about credit scores. Talk to them about the negatives of not managing money well. Share your stories with them. Talk, especially your teenagers. Like, we may think they may not understand. Talk to them, share with them, because they'll get it and it'll motivate them to make better choices. Okay, so again, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment down below. What are some ways you are saving and investing for your kids? Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Smash notification bell so that you don't miss an upload every time I post a video. And until next time, y'all already know, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.